I've helped thousands break free from anxiety and those terrifying symptoms that make you feel like you're going to die. And here's the brutal truth. Most of what you're doing to fix your anxiety is making things worse. So over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to save you years of struggle. If I could go back and give advice to the old Shaan struggling with anxiety and fear-related symptoms, here's what I would say. Number one, stop looking for quick fixes. The number one question I get asked from people is, hey Shaan, can you just give me that one tip? Could you give me that quick trick to overcome my symptoms and recover? What would you tell somebody? The key of recovery isn't focusing on these short-term fixes. And look, I get it. When you're dealing with these symptoms, you're overwhelmed and you want the quickest way out. But you trying to find the quickest way out is what's in fact keeping you stuck. Recovery is about understanding what's going on and focusing on long-term freedom. And if you're focused on these quick fix shortcuts, you're going to fall into the trap of coping crutches. You're going to be relying on things to make you feel better in the moment. All that does is that reinforces your anxiety. If you want to overcome this and you mean it, you have to take some time and understand why you're experiencing these symptoms. It's not because of some childhood trauma. It's not because of this or that. It's really just understanding your nervous system and understanding why you're experiencing these symptoms and what to do to begin reversing the cycle. This takes time. This also takes education and patience. Number two, meditation actually made my anxiety worse. If you try to meditate, you'll notice that in the beginning of the meditation, your anxiety will spike. And the truth was that I was using meditation as a shield for my symptoms. And it wasn't that meditation wasn't working, it's just that I was using meditation incorrectly. I was trying to meditate because that's what I was told to help overcome my symptoms, but really I was just using meditation as a way to avoid my feelings, not face them. When we use meditation as a shield, something to make your fear go away, it reinforces the idea that the fear, the symptoms, the sensations, the emotions are dangerous. But the real power of meditation is learning to sit with what's uncomfortable and just observing it without judgments, without resistance, just letting it pass. That's when it becomes a tool for healing, not avoidance. Number three, coping keeps you stuck. Recovery is about building capacity. Building capacity is what sets you free. Most coping tools are just there to help you survive in that moment. But the real goal is to build capacity, which is your ability to feel discomfort without spiraling. And you can't build capacity without safety. So it's really important to understand that these symptoms, as uncomfortable as they aren't dangerous. They can't hurt you. Understanding the mechanics of anxiety, learning the fight or flight response, dispels a lot of the fears around the symptoms. You won't fall into the trap of thinking, oh, these symptoms are dangerous, or I will lose control, or something bad will happen. Naturally, you'll start developing a sense of safety. Once you have that safety, now the focus is to build capacity, which is dealing and sitting with the uncomfort without resisting. But you can't do that if you don't have an underlying baseline of safety. The best healers in the world focus on helping you create that safety. There's multiple ways of doing it. I have found that anxiety sufferers are very intellectual. They want to understand. So understanding the neuroscience and the mechanics of anxiety is what helps. You don't need to be a neuroscientist. It's just basically understanding the fight or flight response, understanding how your nerves become hypersensitive, and learning how to desensitize your nervous system. That's all you need to help you overcome these symptoms and create that level of safety where you can build capacity. Number four, you're not broken, you're just overstimulated. You're not going crazy, you're not weak. It's not that the doctors are missing something, and you're definitely not broken. Your nervous system is just stuck in overdrive. That's why you feel every sensation so intensely. And this is why when you go to your doctors, they do all the tests, everything comes out fine. It isn't because something is wrong and they're missing it. It's that everything is working fine. It's just working on overdrive. This can be reversed. Number five, avoidance makes anxiety stronger. Avoiding places, people, or even feelings, it might bring short-term comfort, but it's teaching your brain this is dangerous. The more you avoid, the smaller your world becomes. This is how anxiety sufferers become agoraphobic. Recovery begins when you stop running and you start gently leaning in. It's not even just about avoiding your symptoms. You might be avoiding making that phone call, taking that responsibility, doing that one thing. Even focusing on your recovery journey is something you might be avoiding. Confronting that, recognizing that it might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but overall, it's good for your long-term freedom and your well-being. Number 6, recovery isn't about getting rid of anxiety. If your goal is to eliminate anxiety, you'll always be afraid of it coming back. The real shift is when you stop fearing it. When anxiety shows up, you say, I can handle this. That's when it loses its power. Anxiety will show up as a way to protect you. It'll help you stay more alert, but it will never become the problem again. It won't create these intense symptoms anymore. Once you learn to embrace it and realize that the goal is not to feel anxiety, which is silly in many ways because it's an emotion just like anything else, is learning that when you block it, it comes stronger. So when you develop this blasé attitude of you don't care if the anxiety is there or not, that's when you're well on your recovery journey. Number 7, this might be a little bit confronting, but information alone won't help you heal. You don't, in fact, need more content. In fact, more content tends to complicate recovery. What you need is practice. You need real transformation. Real transformation happens when you take what you know and apply it consistently, even when it's uncomfortable. Number 8, panic attacks feel like death, but they're not dangerous. When I had panic attacks, I thought I was gonna die. I thought I was gonna lose control. I thought I was gonna collapse. I thought something terrible was gonna happen many times. But panic attacks are just adrenaline surges. They're just false alarms. So recognizing that when I was having a panic attack, all I would say to myself is my body's just having an adrenaline surge. Let the body burn off all the adrenaline. This allowed me to let the panic attacks pass on their own. After I did this a few times, I naturally lost the fear of panic attacks. Sure, they were uncomfortable, but I was never scared of them again. And what happened, coincidentally, is that they ended up going away. Your body is trying to protect you, not harm you. So understanding that panic attacks are used to help you, it's just that it's a false alarm right now. It doesn't know what's a threat. Once you start responding a certain way, you teach your nervous system that what you're dealing with isn't a true threat. Number 9, you can't think your way out of this overthinking. Googling, obsessing, none of it helps. Anxiety isn't a mind problem. We like to think anxiety is a mind problem, but in fact, it's a nervous system issue. You can't outthink fear. You have to show your body safety. Number 10 is recovery is not comfortable, but it's totally worth it. I've seen people give up everything in their lives just to stay comfortable. And what happens is that their lives just shrink, and at the end, they have nothing but their anxiety. Recovery is about letting the discomfort be there, but making life a bigger priority. You don't heal first and then live. In fact, you live and heal at the same time. In fact, living is required for healing. It's learning to feel the discomfort without needing to escape it. Now again, the focus is on creating safety and helping you understand what's going on. When you learn to sit with it, breathe through it, and stay, that's when your nervous system begins to desensitize. Number 11, most people quit right before it gets good. I focused on recovery, but then I would abandon it because I would see something else, what I call a shiny object that said that I could recover even faster. Maybe it was a breathing exercise. Maybe it was a certain therapist. Maybe it was a certain modality. And every time I would do it, I would spiral back. It wasn't until I really exhausted everything that I had no choice is where I decided to focus on recovery and stick with recovery. And there was a lot of times it felt like I went 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. But recovery was about being consistent. It wasn't trying 500 things. It was just sticking to one thing and moving forward. Sometimes progress isn't obvious. You're gonna experience plateaus, you're gonna experience setbacks, and moments where you'll honestly want to give up. But often the biggest shift comes right after those moments. So keep going, don't stop just because it's hard. And number 12, something most anxiety healers never say, recovery is boring. And that's why it works. Everybody wants breakthroughs, but the truth, recovery is repetitive. It's simple. It's doing the same foundational practices over and over again until your system learns that it's safe. That's how I healed. That's how thousands of others heal too. It's not that you conquer anxiety and then you live. You end up living, anxiety is there side by side, and then eventually anxiety just goes away. But you're so busy living life that you don't even care. It's not even an achievement in many ways. So when people ask, how do you know you've recovered? Well, the answer to that is when you stop caring about whether the anxiety is there or not. I hope this video helps. If you want more resources on the healing journey, check the links down below in the description, including applying for mentorship. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.